Well, this is us, 𝘗𝘧𝘬𝘳 Media. Welcome. Tell us what you think.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of 𝘗𝘧𝘬𝘳 Media. Yep. And today, I'd like us to examine a topic. Simple, but maybe you think that I'm not in the right position to talk about this, but you can't say I'm not in the right position to think about it. But anyway, it's just a food for thought, right? It's just thoughts for us to consider. So it's on raising kids, parenting. Let's say parenting actually. So what do you think, or let me put it this way, do you think that parenting is optimal today? Do you think parenting is better today than when I say today now, I mean this generation than the previous generations? Do you think parenting is getting better, or we are losing hold of transfer of knowledge? Or first, let's start with what do you even think parenting is about? Yeah, please share your thoughts in the comments. Let's hear what you have no idea what would happen with what you say. The thing is, a lot of people do not know how far their words can go. You see, some things you say can even save the world in a way. Some of the comments you share, some people in high positions read them, and you never know, it might just change their mind and save the world. Yeah, so please share your thoughts in the comment section. Whatever it is, it's just your thoughts. Share your thoughts in the comment section, and please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, 𝘗𝘧𝘬𝘳 Media. And if you want to hear what I think about this, keep listening, or you can simply go to my YouTube channel. So, like my question said, what do we even think parenting is? What do you think parenting is, right? Is it just two people coming together and there's a kid in their midst? They just show the kid love and the rest love and say guidance? Well, I don't. Yeah. What do you think parenting is about? Honestly, I would love to hear what you think parenting is, right? Firstly, okay, let's say, not firstly now. From my thoughts now, what I think parenting is absolute, well, maybe large transfer of your wealth of experience. That is the knowledge you have gotten from experience, not just your experience, right? You might have had bad experience with people, but you should have gotten a good knowledge from that experience. Kagani, right? Do you get that? You should have gotten a good knowledge from that bad experience, so you do not just transfer bad experience to your children. So I think parenting is absolute transfer, right? Absolute transfer for continuity, for sustenance, meaning as a person you must have received a goal that is larger than you, a goal that is, how do I put this now, well grounded in the purpose of sustenance, in the purpose of humanity, or in the survival, in the drive of humanity, or a family must have crafted or designed its purpose, right? And then they would have laid out plans. Say an ancient progenitor has a goal of certain things he wants the family to have achieved by certain periods so that they can, have maybe a little bit of influence on the earth, or, you know, give their quota of good to humanity, something of the sort. You get it? Yes. And then you as an offspring would have, okay, you get um the handover notes. You get the handover notes from your father as he got from his father before him, and they tell you, okay, in the grand scheme of the family, this is where we are and this is where we are going. You know, I think we'll still get back to that planning and the rest, but let me just breeze through some things. And then you do your bit to achieve what you can achieve with, of course, maybe there should have been a bit of transfer of resources and, certain systems that uh, have kept that goal to alive to the certain stage it is, that you can use to further its growth and advancement. Yeah, there should be that as well. And then there should be other things like relationship transfer. Certain families, have, should I say, informal relationship or informal bond, informal contracts with other families for, stuff like that, friends like family, something of the sort, and probably graduated to the point of business relation or the rest, stuff like that. Yeah. Let me leave that. But this is what I think parenting should be about. You get the scope. I think from that point, you should be able to magnify as much as you want in your mind. So, but one of the things I've discovered, see, my mom is a teacher, and honestly, I thought too for a bit of, a little bit. So, you'd find that it's as though parents are giving out their roles, right? They are giving out their roles. They want some other people to take up their roles to parent. They just want to provide the funds and, do the regular, oh, are you okay, kid? Oh, what do you want me to get you? Let's go out and get this. Let's go out and get that. It's as though we are shying away from the real responsibility of, parenting. When the child is faced with this, you can do it, but to be able to do that, you should have, had experience. Like I said before, you should have had experience, right? And good knowledge from the experience. So there's that. You find that, like I said earlier, I think that a lot of us do not want to parent per se, or let me say, we do not want full-time parenting, and it's a bit understandable because career, money must be made, so it's a bit understandable. But I have some points that I think I've thought through, maybe not through, I'll share them, and if you think there are, loopholes and things that I might want to consider, of course, definitely share them. So there are things that I think that as a parent you might want to look into, right? You might want to strategize on how to transfer these things to your kids. And firstly, one of them is history. Yeah, history of the world, as much as you know, as much as you can find, and then history of your family, right? History of the world, how the world, it might not be, from the beginning, in the very beginning, that's still being debated, right? But from a good point, and Definitely, kids, I can assure you, they have those very inquisitive questions that, yeah, you might want to go back to in the beginning, or some sort of beginning. Yes, but anyway, my point is history, how humanity has grown, how humanity has evolved, the things we have been focusing on, what we focus on, the things that seemingly keep humans, right? Simile, that's why I use the word simile. Things that seemingly keep humans, and how your family fits into the history of humanity to the best you can remember. Maybe your great grandfather or great grandfather and great grandmother, if you know how they met, you might tell the story. You might even start with just the story of how they met, right? Just start from there. And as the child keeps growing up, you keep telling more things about the history of the family, what this uncle did, the business this uncle did, this person, this that. Is good for the child to know, the family is from, the things that have been possible, right? The child, you never know, the child may be able to see patterns that you may have missed, right? And I think now that the child would also not struggle with um I'm looking for the word for it now. Sometimes we get this doubt, curiosity, and like, why are we here? And those sort of questions. What's our purpose? Knowing the history of the family might quiet that question a bit. It will give the child a bit of knowledge about who he is, or who she is, or whatever the person, the child, might identify with. It'll give the child some sort of um, grand identity. How many may use that? Grand identity, yes. And from there, history, then maybe you might want to share future goals of what you think the family can be and how the family can be useful to the grander scheme of the earth, so in sustaining the earth, the humanity, other creatures, something like that. There's that. Secondly, I just spoke on history. Secondly, there's also finance. There's finance. I think some families do well in the transfer of financial knowledge and financial assets and whatever. Some families do well. You'd usually find that in very wealthy families and rich families, of the sort. Most poor families want to isolate their child as much as they can from their own uncertainty of the future. Do you get it? Like, if I'm a parent, I want to keep the child from the uncertainty that I feel about my own future, about where the next finance is coming from, or maybe someone loses his job, and they try as much as possible to protect the child from that uncertainty, that thought of uncertainty, of fear, of doubt. So that's what happens in people who are still struggling to make ends meet, and you rarely find transfer of financial knowledge or finance basically in that level. But in the rich and wealthy, you'd find them there. So the point is, we should, as much as possible, see, even if you do not have right, a lot of financial assets, now try to get financial knowledge. There are lots of people, there are lots of information available online on finance, on financial sustainability. It might not be the knowledge you have, right? It might not be, for immediate wealth. right? It might not be for immediate wealth, but you see that sustainability, how to sustain finance. I think it's something that you should be able to get online, right? You should be able to get that online, and of course, transfer it to your kids. Investments and spending, budgeting, those things. How to do a balance sheet of spending and the rest, the income of the family. Those are things I think, regardless of your financial status, you should be able to get, little bit of information on it, right? And you should be able to transfer this to your kids. And for the wealthy and the rich, I know a lot of you guys do it. Kudos to wealthy people, kudos to rich people who um, transfer financial knowledge and financial assets to their kids. And the reason why I think there should be some sort of um, transfer from a parent to a child on finance is, like I said from the beginning, my orientation on parenting. There should be something you want your family to be, those that come out of you. On the larger scheme, you are going to create some sort of nation, right? You give birth to five, those five give birth to maybe three each, and it keeps cascading in an exponential rate like that, uncertain, but it keeps growing like that. And definitely they might be scattered around the world, but the thing is, once you have knowledge transferred, you have become a mighty nation, right? Across maybe different physical territory, geographical territory, probably. Yeah. But once you have a larger goal, you'd always find the need to transfer a lot of things. You always find the need, and that will include financial knowledge. If you want your child to be able to sustain the things that you have set up, right? The child might want to explore more things. Always leave room for that. The child might want to explore more, maybe become an athlete or a business person or musician, an artist, something. Always leave room for that. You see, that's your financial knowledge will always help, regardless of what they want to try, right? And it will also help them in sustaining those things that you have handed over, right? And that way, the family will be able to grow until it reaches the goal that you may have set. And the funny thing is, your children, maybe the goal you set, they met it, they'll be able to set a greater goal for maybe 3-4 generations to meet. Something of the sort. There's that. That's finance. That's the part on finance. It looks like I'm going deep into this, but I would, start summarizing them. So there's also philosophy. Yes, I think, everyone sort of has a philosophy to life. Some people believe in taking life seriously, some believe in not taking life seriously, enjoy life as it comes, or some people believe in, be intentional, orchestrate whatever you want to see, different philosophies, and you cannot argue. You can't argue. But, sorry about that. But the thing is, different strokes works for different folks, right? Whoever wants to take life seriously, it might work for a large part of them, and those who do not want to take life seriously, it might also work for a large part of them, right? So, philosophy is one thing that I think you might want to transfer to your kids. The understanding of philosophy and your philosophy, right? Let them understand what built you and how that influenced a lot of things you did, right? This will also inform them on how to pick up their own philosophies and the prospective effect it might have on their own decisions as well, right? Philosophy is very good. How they see life, right? Philosophy focuses on the core, of existence. We're always riddled with why. So why are we here? Right? Once you have created a family goal, there should definitely be a family philosophy to anchor that goal, right? Of course, there will be individual philosophies that should be able to branch or attach to the main philosophy of the family. And if the philosophy of the family needs review, something of the sort, but you get the point, right? There should be a philosophy that you can transfer to your kids. Let your kids understand what life is, what the philosophy is, how they see life, how they approach life, how they approach the things of life, the things they can see, the things they can't see, right? That's philosophy. There's also the part of religion. If you're a religious person, do well. Religion has its place actually. A lot of people think religion is one of the cancers of the earth. But I think that religion has its place in keeping order on the earth, right? Religion has its place. So far, it has proven to have its place on the earth. So far, if you look at it, a lot of people are only held back from committing or perpetrating evil because of religion. A lot of people, I'm not saying everyone, but a lot of people. That's religion. And also, this one is weird, but self-defense. Yeah, self-defense. I don't know. I think it's necessary. It's necessary for everyone to be able to protect themselves to a degree. You do not need to become a professional fighter or a professional self-defense coach, but you should be able to defend yourself to a degree, right? Whatever is permitted in your state or in your countries, wherever, to that degree, should be able to protect yourself. And you should be able to, I think you should give your children the knowledge of self-defense. Probably from you, if you had learnt it from you. If you do not have the time, you might just, give it up. Get someone to do it for you, Some people do not have money and, in the streets, and they ensure that their kids understand self-defense to a degree, right? To a degree that they can meet up to. That's that. So let me see. What else? Hmm. Hmm. I'm thinking art. But that might be part of philosophy. Art is, art sort of gives us this connection to life. I don't know if you get it. It sort of connects essence, essence to essence. I don't know, but you get the point. It might be music, it might be painting, it might be dancing, whatever art, it might be writing, poetry, whatever art you think that you can transfer or just expose your children to. Basically, these are some of the things that I consider. I know you might have more in your own mind, so please share them. I would love to know. I might just use them, and a lot of people might use them. And in all this, you'd find that the world will be a better place for you, for me, for everyone. So this is what I think on parenting or raising kids. So basically, that will be all on this episode. Thank you for your time. If you listened up to this point, thank you so much for staying with us. And I'll see you on the next episode, guys. Cheers.